Yeah, hi there, Coach. Here we go. So this is chapter 4. And chapter 4, we're talking about driving yourself towards what you want. Now that might really sound very easy and something that you are already doing. So you're thinking to yourself, well, what the hell are we talking about here? However, when you think about it a little bit more clinically, it isn't that obvious at all. If you have a conversation with someone, and maybe you have this conversation with yourself, if you have a conversation with someone and you say to them, yeah, hi, tell me what you want. What they usually do is they'll tell you everything they don't want. So most people will focus on the things that are in their life or the things that they have that they want to change or that they don't want. And I'll give you a for instance. So if you're talking to yourself or you're talking to someone else and you're talking about your job, for instance, you will start by saying, yeah, I really want another job. I don't like my job, I don't like my boss, I don't like where I work, I don't like that commute, I don't like having to get out that early, I don't like having to finish that late, I don't like having to write those reports, I don't like having to be responsible for those staff. You get what I mean? So the list goes on and on and on about all the things you don't like. But you never actually sit there and think, okay, well, what would my perfect job look like? What would my perfect day look like? What would I want to do in an ideal world? But isn't that what you should do? You know, obviously, we've all got so much time on this earth, and you could be right now sat in a job or in a relationship or in a town or in a city or in a country that you don't want to be in, that you want to be living somewhere else. You might want to do what I did and emigrate to the United States. You know, I very first visited the US in 1992. I came here on vacation holiday, and from that moment on I decided I wanted to move to the United States. I wanted to live in the United States. I wanted to find my purpose in life here in this country. And so what I started to do is I started to, and at the time I didn't know this is what I was doing, but this is what happened, is I started to manifest ways in which that I could emigrate to the United States. And I started to try different methods of how I could eventually move to the United States. And 5 years ago I actually realized that dream. So it's now 2019, I moved in 2014, so it actually took me 12 years, no, 22 years. It took me 22 years to make that happen. So I started in 1992 manifesting this idea in my mind that this is what I wanted, this is what I wanted to do. And over the course of the next 22 years I was making little decisions, little choices, little movements towards that goal. Now, you may or may not know, but moving to a different country is not easy to do, especially one that restricts immigration and restricts movement. However, I wasn't going to be deterred. I was going to find a way to move to the United States, and through making, as I say, little decisions each day, little business decisions, little personal decisions, what ended up being big personal decisions, and you know, moving myself 5,000 miles away across the other side of the world. But those processes started happening 22 years before it actually happened, before I actually did what I wanted to do. So what I'm trying to share with you in this video and in this whole chapter is that whatever you want, you have to start thinking about it and manifesting it in your mind before you have any chance of it actually becoming a reality. There was a book, very, very popular book, that was released a few years ago, and I remember reading it, and it's called The Secret. And in this book, basically what they talk about is they talk about that if you think about something enough, if you conceive it in your mind enough, if you are constantly figuring out how to make it happen, eventually what will happen is it will happen. It will happen through the subconscious actions that you will take through your daily life, through your decision-making processes that will subconsciously lead you to whatever it is that you want, wherever it is you want to go and whatever it is you want to achieve. And I believe that that is wholeheartedly what happens. So for instance, let's say for argument's sake you want to be a top soccer coach. You want to earn a living coaching soccer. If you start right now today and all you think about is ways in which you can learn how to become the best possible coach you can be, and the end goal of that is for you to be able to make a living coaching soccer, then over the course of time what will happen is every decision you make, consciously and subconsciously, will drive you towards what you want. It will drive you towards achieving that goal. So if there's something that you want to be the best soccer coach you can be, if you keep thinking about that in your mind, and you keep that thought constantly there every day, everything you do will move you towards being a better coach. Every decision you make, every training course you take, every conversation you have will subconsciously be moving you towards being a better coach. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to fall down along the way, you're not going to make mistakes, you're not going to get things wrong, but as long as you keep that goal in your mind, everything you do will be programming you towards that goal, towards that wanting that outcome. So, you know, if it's not soccer coaching, let's say, I don't know, maybe you work in a bank and you don't want to work in a bank anymore, you want to become a painter. You want to make money selling paintings. I have no idea how you'd go about that, but if that's a life goal of yours, if that's something you want to achieve, you will then start researching how to become a painter, how to sell paintings, how to create paintings that will sell. You'll figure it out. You'll start moving yourself every day, a little bit at a time, little bit at a time, little bit at a time, to the point where you get there. Unless somewhere along the lines you decide you don't want that anymore. You know, I've had 3-4 different careers in my life, and you know, each time I got into one I thought, oh, this is it, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, only to discover that 6, 7, 8 years into that I decided that I didn't want to do it anymore. I wanted to move my life in a different direction, and I think that that's going to continue for as long as I live. So what's the purpose of this chapter being in this coaching course? It's so that you can identify what it is you want. You know, what is the purpose of first of all doing a course like this, doing a training like this? What is the purpose that you're going to spend hours and hours of your time working with kids, working with other coaches, dealing with the parents, dealing with the officials? What is it you want out of it? Is it that you just want to do it because you love it? And if that's the case, well, great, that's brilliant. I mean, you know, there's no greater reason to do anything, is there? But do you want more? You know, do you want to work in an academy? Do you want to work with a professional team? Do you want to work with a better level of player? Do you want to work with an older player? Do you want to work with girls instead of boys? Do you want to work as a coach educator? What is it that you want to do? Where do you want to go? So what I encourage you to do is really start thinking about what is the purpose of what you're doing. What is the outcome that you're looking for from what you're doing? Not what you don't want. Yeah, not what you've got that you hate or that you would like to change or that you're not happy with. You know, maybe your finances aren't the way that you want them to be. What would you want them to be? You know, look at every aspect of your life, not just your coaching, and think to yourself, okay, this is my financial situation right now. Where do I want to be? So in 5 years' time, where do I want my finances to be? Do I want to own my own home? Do I want to have the car that I want? Do I want to be able to travel wherever I want in the world? Do I want to be able to go out and have dinner with my wife or my girlfriend or my boyfriend or my husband and not worry about what it's going to cost? What is it that you want for what I would suggest is the next 12 months, then the next 36 months, and then the next 60 months? Map it out for yourself. Figure out what it is that you want through those stages, and then start breaking that down even more and start thinking about, okay, well, now how am I going to get it? What do I have to do to get those things? So I told you a little story about how I wanted to move to the US. It took me 22 years, much longer than I thought it was going to. But I never gave up during that course of that time. I never stopped manifesting that plan in my head. I got distracted along the ways. You know, I ran 2 other businesses, and I had children, and you know, I got distracted along the way. But ultimately, that drive, that desire, that passion to fulfill that overrode everything else. It didn't matter what other things came into my life. It didn't matter what else I was doing. That thought was always in the back of my mind. I was always thinking about that, and always thinking about how I could make that happen, how I would make that a possibility. And I want that for you. I want you to do the same thing. I want you to be able to find the direction, the drive, the goal, the outcome in your life that you're looking for. Not just, as I say, in your soccer coaching, but look at all the critical areas of your life. Look at your relationships. Look at your living accommodations. Look at your work situation. Look at your financial situation. Look at your health situation. Are you as fit and active and healthy as you want to be? If not, what is it you want instead? You know, don't complain that you're 50 pounds overweight, or you're 20 pounds overweight, or you can't get up and down the flight of stairs without feeling like you're going to have a heart attack. Discover what it is you want, and then move towards that. Don't sell yourself short. Don't say, oh yeah, well, I'd really like to lose 5 pounds, if in reality you want to lose 50. Because you're better off saying I want to lose 60, and then getting to 50, and then, you know, saying that you've done a good job. If you only want to lose 5 and you never get there, well, you've never taken the step forward. So, you know, decide what it is you want from your life. Decide what it is you want to do with your life, and then start thinking about those things, and start thinking about, okay, I want to get fitter. I want to get healthier. I want to be able to run with my players. How do I do that? Well, one of the ways is you can start running. You know, in the off-season, simply say to yourself, when I finish work, I'm going to go out and I'm going to run and walk and run and walk and run and walk and run and walk as much as I can. And then the next day I'll probably take that day off, and maybe I'll do some strength training, maybe I'll get some weights, and then the following day I'll see if I can walk and run a little bit further, if I can do a little bit more. So, you know, once you know where you're going, then you have to have an action plan to be able to get there. So you have to be able to then figure out what it is you're going to do. What are you going to change in your life right now that is going to make the difference, that's going to move you towards that goal? The most successful people in the world, excuse me, the most successful people in the world are the people that have done that have known where they're going, what they want, and then they figure out how to get there. They are solely committed to achieving that goal, to achieving that outcome, and they are doing everything in their power, consciously, subconsciously, to make it happen, to get themselves to that place, to get themselves into that position where they are successful. And they will eat, sleep, drink the future that they see, the outcome that they see, so vividly, so passionately, so colourfully, that they cannot see any other outcome, that they are so blinkered that they see that 1000%. They see that there's never any doubt in their mind that it was never going to happen the way that they foresaw it. And that's a whole nother skill that if you can add to knowing where you want, and seeing it, and knowing it's there, and picturing what it's going to be like in 5 years' time when you achieve this, this, this and this, that will make you even more determined to get there. Hopefully that makes sense. Alright, okay, so that's enough about this. Let's do some of the work in the chapter, and then we can talk again very soon. Okay, so just let's recap before I go, that you have to get out of the mindset of talking about what you don't want and start talking about what you do want. Yeah, if you've got a rubbish job that you don't like, what can you do about it? How can you change it? If you can't change it, how can you figure out how to like it? What steps do you have to take to be able to change the way you view that job? Maybe you need that job. Maybe that job pays for your rent. Maybe it pays for your lifestyle. Maybe it pays for your family. So, you know, maybe you need that job. So how do you get the most out of it possible, because you can't do anything about it right now? Yeah. How do you change your mindset? How do you change your attitude towards that job to make it so that it's something that you want and something that you need in your immediate future? Maybe you can't change it for 12 months. Maybe there's some reason why you need to stay there for the next 12 months. Maybe you've got some sort of a training attachment to it. I don't know, whatever it is. Maybe you're just not ready to move. Maybe you need a bit more experience, maybe a bit more knowledge. What is it that's going to drive you to want to be the best version of you for the next 12 months, so that you can get the most out of this job, so you can get the most out of this opportunity, and then you can move towards whatever the next opportunity is? So start laying that out. What is it that you want from your life? What do you want in your health, finances, living accommodations, relationships and career, and then obviously your coaching? You know, why are you watching this in the first place? So yeah, start documenting that, and then we'll talk again soon. All right, take care. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.